friends, it's Kate at the Fletcher Free Library, and I am here to do a STEM lesson for you today of the science of bubbles. And I like to call it Bubbleology, which is the study of bubbles. And, just so we're on the same page, a bubble is a layer of, really thin layer of liquid that surrounds some kind of gas, right? We all know about bubbles. You've blown bubbles outside. Sometimes you make spit bubbles with your mouth. There's soap bubbles in the tub or when you're doing bubbles outside. Soda bubbles. Remember when we did that soda experiment with the Mentos? There's bubbles of gas inside. What else? Oh, here's a really good one. I bet you didn't even think about these being bubbles. But if you've ever noticed, maybe on the shores of the Lake Champlain, or if you've ever gone to the ocean, it might be foamy and bubbly along the shoreline, right? Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but those are bubbles too. So I bet when you are playing bubbles, you are not thinking about it as a science and math activity. Am I right? But it is. So let's break this down really quickly. Math. We are measuring ingredients and making a solution, right? So we have to measure. We might measure bubble sizes to compare different bubble solutions or different wands to see how big of a bubble you get. We might also measure time and see how long a bubble will last before it pops or before it falls to the ground. So that's math. Science would be making a bubble solution, right? Taking different ingredients or chemicals and putting them together to make something new. We also might learn about which things make bubbles or don't make bubbles. Okay, so we could test those things. And there are scientists all over the world who are studying bubbles to find out how things stay afloat and what materials they need. So bubbles fit into a lot of science as well as math. So you will never think of bubbles the same. So I made some bubble solution and I will supply you with the recipe at the end, but it's really simple and cheap. You may never buy bubble solution again. So you need some dishwashing liquid. This one just happens to be blue, but it could be any color. You need water, which everybody has. Pretty much everybody has dishwashing liquid. And then the special ingredient, which is not, you don't have to have it, but it's great for making long-lasting bubbles, is either something called glycerin or corn syrup. And you can get both of these in the grocery store. Glycerin is usually like in the healthcare aisle, and this is with the baking stuff. So when you mix those together, you get a bubble solution. Okay, I just mixed them together really gently. And I'm going to show you a little bit about bubbles. So I'm going to start by putting some bubble solution on the counter. I know, sounds messy. It is. I'm going to take off my ring. And I've got a straw. My hands are all wet with bubble solution. And watch this. Let's see what happens. I popped it. Pretty amazing, huh? That huge bubble. I'm going to blow one again and I'm going to see if I can stick my hands in it. So let's see if that works. Did you see that? My fingers were inside the bubble, but only because I had soapy water on my hands. So you should try that too. So a quick breakdown about how this all works. So we said that bubble solution has water in it, and if you watched any of the other videos, they kind of connect. We learned that water has surface tension. the molecules of water like to stick together. They like to stay close. So we have to play with that a little in order to make our skin of water flexible enough to blow up a bubble in, right? So without adding anything, we don't blow very good bubbles in water. They pop almost immediately. So we add some soap, and that breaks the surface tension in the water and allows it to be elastic so it can make a bubble. And it also keeps it from drying out. Another thing that we add that keeps it from drying out is we add glycerin or corn syrup, and that makes our bubbles last a lot longer. Otherwise, they pop almost immediately. So it's pretty fascinating, this bubble chemistry, and you could play with changing the ingredients a little to see if you get longer lasting bubbles or bigger bubbles perhaps. So lots of things you could do to play with this to be a scientist, right? So remember I said that Lake Champlain had foam sometimes around the shore, and those bubbles, right, because it's water, right? The lake is made out of water, and the bubbles form because things that die in the water, plants and animals, break down in the water, and those change the surface tension of the water, allowing air as the wind is blowing the water, the air gets trapped inside and makes bubbles along the shore. Pretty cool, I know. So next time you're at Lake Champlain and it's a windy day, notice that and think about what's happening with those bubbles. So we're almost ready to go play with bubbles, and I wanted to show you some of the things that I had gathered for testing, and you might want to do the same thing. So things that I picked up to see what kind of bubbles we'd get was I have a straw, I have a little cup, this little baster, what else? Ooh, I thought this one might be good. This is for garlic, but I'm going to try it for bubbles. This is for making frosting cakes. I got a fork. What else? Ooh, I got a clothespin, a little eyedropper, and then I made some things. So I took a cookie cutter and I made it into a little wand, and then I used a pipe cleaner and made a wand. Oh, and this one I'm really excited to try. This is a soda bottle or a water bottle, and I cut off the bottle and I just put a bunch of straw pieces in there to make a bubble wand. And let's see, these are just more straws that I put together. I bundled them together. And ooh, this one is a soda bottle, and then I took a bag from oranges and I put it on there, and I thought, I wonder if that will blow bubbles. And then finally I have a piece of string with some straws on it, and I wondered if I could do different shaped bubbles. So those are all things we could test outside. So we're going to go outside and see a little bit, and I'm hoping you will do some of these activities at home. Okay, here we are. I'm going to start with what looks like the most normal one. Oh yeah, that one works. And the wind is blowing them away. Okay, what else do we have? Ooh, this is the one where I put all of the straws together. Ooh! Did you notice that was tiny bubbles? What else do we have? Ooh, here's the one that I could change the shape. If I blow it like this, I wonder if I'm going to get a triangle bubble. Let's see. Get it all wet. No, that didn't look like a triangle to me. Let's see. Ooh, these bubbles are breaking too fast. I think maybe I will try to put more glycerin in. Let's see. Oh, and here's the one that's the water bottle. Let's see what happens. Ooh, tiny bubbles again. Ooh, I like that one a lot. Oh, and this is the one that had the oranges in it, the bag. So let me see what mine looks like. Oh, that's like a bubble snake. That is so cool. Now it's your turn to try it. Come here, you silly dog. Come here, you silly. Come here, you silly dog. Hi. Are you nervous about the bubbles? Here, watch.